Hello everyone, so this is GS Mains Paper 1, July 2017, and this is the first part, and I'll be including static portion also, because as you know, in GS Mains Paper 1, static portion is comparatively more as compared to dynamic portion. Now what are the dynamic portions? Dynamic portions starts from topic number 6 till topic number 9, right? So these topics are silent features of Indian society, diversity of India, role of women's organization, effects of globalization on Indian society, social empowerment, communalism, regionalism and secularism. So these four topics, right? And even in world history, lots of things will happen, right? Because world history is very big. It covers till European Union. So, but you can say that primarily these four topics out of 12 topics of GS Mains Paper 1 is dynamic. Others are static. So I will also keep on covering the static portions, right? So, and from now onwards in the description portion, I will write also what are the topics which we are covering. So if you feel like there are certain areas where you're lacking in a certain topic and I am covering that topic, please go through that topic and read it. Okay, so let's start. So the first topic today is Indian society, right? So this is again topic number 6 of GS Mains Paper 1. So what is Indian society? What about it? So see, the thing is, what is happening right now is we have markets and everything. The wealthy can purchase educational reform, charity of their choice, think tanks, and endless public broadcast of their ideas. Right now, we are seeing certain kind of things where we are like any kind of a celebrity. See, celebrities are very good, but you cannot get best ideas out of them on every particular topic, right? Today we are asking film actors about their views on world politics and everything. Anything happens in the world and we go to these, rich people and ask them their views, right? So what is happening? What is happening? They are capturing the whole media, right? In a way, certain way, which is not good at all, right? Equality should be there. Everybody should get a chance to go to the media and broadcast their views, right? YouTube is very good in that way, right? Because now you, me and everybody can express their views and anybody can get famous if they are deserving enough, right? So that is good. YouTube, in a way, you can say that YouTube is providing equity to a certain extent. Okay, now we are deviating from the topic. Now, see, the thing is, this whole thing where rich is capturing everything has to change quickly. Even in Indian society also, the rich are becoming richer and poor are becoming poorer. And this is the finding of each and every committee which has been established. Even IMF says the same. Now here, John Rawls' wheel of ignorance comes into picture. Now, John Rawls is one of the most important moral and political philosopher of 20th century. Now this John Rawls' wheel of ignorance will come handy even in ethics paper also. So listen carefully, what is this wheel of ignorance? So imagine you are in outer space, right? You don't know where you will born in this world, right? Now if in that scenario, God comes to you and asks you what kind of a society you want to make, what will you say? You will ask for an equitable society or an utopian society, because if you create an unequal society and you land up in a poorer society, right, a poorer culture, then you will regret, right? So if you don't know where you will grow, if you have no idea about it, right, then in that case you create an equitable society which is a utopian society. So that happened in the case of wheel of ignorance, because you were because you had that ignorance, you didn't have that idea that where you will be getting born, right? In that case, you decided that you want a utopian society or an equal society. Let's take another example to understand this John Rawls' wheel of ignorance. The second example is, suppose you're having your birthday, your mother is giving you a cake, right? And she tells you, cut it in the way you want to cut it, right? It's up to you how you want to cut the cake, right? But the thing is, you don't know which piece you will get, because it is not up to you which piece you will get. So in that scenario, what you will do, you will cut your cake in equal parts, right? Because you cannot cut it in unequal parts and get the smaller part, right? You won't want that, right? So that is again because you were in a state of ignorance, right? So that's why the decision which you take at that particular time will benefit everybody. So that is the wheel of ignorance. Do read about it. It's a very fascinating concept of John Rawls. Now, so the thing is, this kind of utopian society is the need of the hour, and our politics means these politicians should have a wheel of ignorance that will help them, and that will help our society. Okay, moving on. So the next topic is continuous partitioning of India. What does that mean, right? Now many features bind us together: shared memories of a massive struggle against colonialism, spectacle and general enthusiasm for elections, love of cricket and fascination with Bollywood, right? But most important one arguably is constitutional democracy and fundamental rights granted by constitution. Although it sounds boring, but believe me, this is a very important bond. In 1947, India was partitioned into two countries. In 21st century, Indian society seems to be fated to undergo Another sort of partition, spatial segregation born out of fear. Different kind of segregation, caste, class, Hindu, Brahmin, Kshatriya, Vaishya, this, that, whatnot. So lots of partitioning is going on. So you can say that at 1947 only, not only we got partition, we are getting partition each passing day, right? Everybody is getting separated from each other, right? So the thing is, right to life has lost meaning in an India where vigilante groups rule who will be targeted and how. Now this is a very controversial topic, so I won't talk about it, but you have to understand lynching has to stop. Lynching of any kind and every kind has to stop, right? Okay, now to paraphrase our president has said, we can't be vigilant enough, right? We have to be vigilant at each and every corner, right? It is not the duty of only government, it's the duty of we people also to stop any kind of, any kind of wrongdoing which is happening in our society. Now let's move on to EU. Now this is the static part, right? This is the static part. This comes under world history, unification of Europe. But again, it is dynamic portion also, right? So certain portion of world history will be dynamic because it's still going on. World history is vast, man. It is too vast. Okay, now what about EU? When did it take birth? So it take birth in 1993 after the Cold Era or the Cold War got over, right? Now it is possibly the most profound case study on regional integration, right? It is one of the great example of regional integration, right? Now it created a cisgen area by abolishing passport controls and creating unique singular common market in Europe, right? It fought back after Cold War to convince Eastern and Central European countries together to join EU, right? It has a great role to play, dude. See, after this whole thing, EU is a great example of regional integration, right? All these bilateral, multilateral things which you see now, they take their precedence from EU. They try to learn something from EU, how EU is going, has done all those things. Right now, even though Brexit and Italian exit, Brexit has been going on, right? Italian exit talks are also going on, right? All these things are happening, fine, but EU has a greater role to play in the peace which you are right now seeing in Europe, plus the rapid growth of Germany, which happened after Second World War. EU has a greater role to play in that, right? Lots of custom unions were formed after 1950, and all those things eventually led to EU, and EU had a greater role to play. Now, but the thing is, why then Britain is exiting from EU? The reason is resurgent nationalism, right? Resurgent nationalism means, and lots of immigrations were taking place. People from less developed countries were going into the developed countries, right? And again, unemployment and all those things. Case similar to what is happening in US right now, right? So remember one reason for Brexit, the word is resurgent nationalism. Okay, now let's move on to the next topic. And yeah, remember, EU got Nobel Peace Prize in 2012 for the efforts they have done, for the great things they have done. Now, Monroe Doctrine. Now, again, Monroe Doctrine is again a static part which comes under world history, decolonization and underdevelopment. What is Monroe Doctrine? It was a policy which was adopted by US in 1823, whereby it decided to oppose colonial intervention into Americas by European empires. It is named after American President James Monroe, and it was aimed at preserving political independence that Latin American nation won from their European colonizers, right? Latin America, we have talked about it, right? Almost all of South America and Mexico, right? So all these are Latin American nations. It stated that, and Monroe Doctrine stated that any future European intervention in Americas would be considered an act of aggression that would cause US to intervene in matter. Now, why did US did this? To, again, exert a certain kind of soft power over these Latin American countries to expand their sphere of influence. Now, sphere of influence is very rightly associated with, or what do you say, when you will read world history, you will understand that sphere of influence is associated with Chinese Revolution and an era before Chinese Revolution. And all the European countries were going there. This Monroe Doctrine was also a way extending US sphere of influence in Latin America. Okay, now let's move on. Now let's move on to the next topic, which is compulsory marriage registration. Now, why it is in news? Because Law Commission has recommended it. Remember, whenever you are writing any answer and you write the recommendations of Law Commission or ARC, right? So this adds to your answer, right? So always, if you have any Law Commission recommendation, try to include it. Try to include it in any answer, right? Because that would add what do you say? Add 1 or 2 marks. That is a guarantee. Law Commission recommendation or second ARC recommendation. Try to include it. Now, Law Commission has recommended need for a law to make registration of marriages compulsory. Now, what are the benefits of it? So the benefits are manifold. First benefit is it will end continued prevalence of practices such as child marriage. It will also end the practice of, or it will try to a certain extent control the practice of bigamy and gender violence in Indian society. So compulsory marriage registration is It's the need of the hour. But again, people will say that lots of changes are happening. Government is doing this, government is doing that. But believe me, status quo is not always good, right? So little bit of change is necessary. And this compulsory marriage registration is the need of the hour. It is a great way forward. Okay, so I'll keep it up until here only, right? In the next class, we'll continue this GS means paper one, and I think we'll be covering it in 3 to 4 videos. This is July 2017, and I will try to again cover some static portion also. Thank you.